And we are live here at the Mo Summit with Justin Motika, the Vice President of Advantage Capital. Justin, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
And Justin, this is brought to you by Big Path Capital, the leading impact investment bank that assists in company exits, capital raises, and founder liquidity. Justin, what brings you to the Mo Summit?
Well, Advantage Capital was ranked in the top 100 of the Real Leaders magazine. That was our first lead to get here. Second, Big Path Capital's got a great name. They do a lot of events. They bring together a lot of like-minded entrepreneurs and investors and intermediaries. So we want to be with those people. And then Asheville, North Carolina is a great place to come.
Is this your first time here?
It is.
Same. It's a great city. Can't say nothing about it.
I'm really enjoying it.
So, Advantage Capital, tell our viewers what you do.
Sure. So 26 years old now. We started out as venture capitalists, investing in targeted areas, specifically in Louisiana. We grew out from there. Over time, as we grew our abilities to reach hard to invest in areas like rural areas or low-income communities, we branched across the United States and increased our impact abilities to not just increasing the supply of capital to areas, but also having social, economic, and even fiscal impacts to areas through more targeted cause or issue-based impact methods.
And how important is it to be on foot in these locations?
It can be very important to be there. Certainly when you are trying to find operating companies to invest in, Advantage Capital overwhelmingly invest in operating companies as opposed to like real estate across the country. So being there is helpful, getting to know the entrepreneurs, the ecosystems, the environments that they're trying to grow their enterprises in is helpful, especially when you are driving through rural areas of Nebraska. Finding those deals from one of the cities that we might be headquartered in presents a little bit of a challenge. And then when you are considering the relationships that you need with the locals, you need the resources and the leadership that you can bring to the table there. I would say that in many cases it can't be understated.
And what type of companies do you look for and you invest in?
Sure. So that cuts to our theory of change and the types of impacts. So we are generally industry agnostic. We do private equity, venture capital, small business lending across all industries. And we also have some areas of focus. We have solar, we do ag and agribusiness and low-income housing as well on the industry investments. But when we are trying to identify investment opportunities for their impacts, we are looking at opportunities where there's going to be job creation involved, as opposed to maybe investing in a software company that actually does not need to hire any more people. Or at least not as many people. Mm-hmm. And we're looking for the impacts that those job opportunities will have on the local areas or those regions. And so we fundamentally are seeking accessible job creation opportunities. We're seeking quality job opportunities, and I use quality jobs just as a catch-all term, where we're looking for high-paying jobs that are above many different standards of wage baselines, whether they're the averages in the county, the state, the industry, livable wage indexes that are out there, and provide benefits and then wealth creation opportunities as well.
Interesting. That's so cool to know.
Yeah.
That everything that really goes into that investment.
It's almost scientific. You can look through econometric models and identify industries that are going to have outsized impacts with job creation as well. So one might argue that investing in a retail company might not have as strong of a multiplier as investing in a manufacturing company that makes things and utilizes ports and high-skilled jobs and training opportunities and more interaction with the supply chain in the area. So we are also applying that lens in our diligence and trying to determine whether or not this is going to have, not just a jobs number impact, but what is the impact going to be on the economy.
How important are the leadership qualities that you look for in the founder or the leadership board of a company? How important are these characteristics and how much do they weigh on your investment?
I'd say that every investment call I've ever listened into or been a part of, or every meeting I've been a part of in our company, it is probably one of the most central parts of the conversation.
Really?
I think, as I say, the three most important things in the investment are management. So we are always considering that. Certainly, when you forget to consider that, you're going to get burned.
Mm-hmm.
And quality is a hard thing to determine. It's a hard thing to quantify.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at past performance. You can look at generally their leadership qualities that they bring. Maybe they've never started a company before, but they're a really compelling person. But at the end of the day, we are making a bet on that person, so it's a big factor in our model.
So can you elaborate on that? You're making a bet on that person.
Yeah, so when you think about investing in a community that's underserved by traditional sources of capital, and you're trying to make a bet on the next leader for that community because you want more resources and more leadership for that community. And you want them to be successful, and you want them to stay there, and you want them to start new businesses after that business, or at least be able to coach and train other people in that area to be able to start businesses. And without that leadership, you're always going to have some other form of leadership supplementing the lack of leadership in the area. And I would argue that when there's a lack of leadership from the entrepreneurs, you have resources stepping in as leadership, so academia or government or the capital markets, and that's not the best recipe for success.
What's a quality of leadership, or maybe not a quality of leadership, that would break a deal with you?
Integrity would probably be pretty high up there. If there was reputation issues or instances in the past of where there was integrity was questioned, fraud charges in the past could be a pretty strong red flag for us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Justin, we've talked a lot about advantage capital, how important it is to be on the foot, what you're looking for in different companies, management.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your definition of a real leader?
Of a real leader? Well, I'd be remiss to say that they weren't mission driven. So I would argue that a real leader is going to be mission driven. I am a traditionalist in the sense that I look for individuals who have big visions, mm-hmm. and they possess character traits and principles in which they can model the way for other people and are an example of what they're trying to accomplish and the culture that they're trying to create. And you can certainly harp on all the different buzzwords of leadership. I am particularly attracted to the compelling, influencing communicators that are out there. I find they're the ones that I gravitate to, and when you stack on things like a vision and mission and strong character values, it's a good recipe for me.
Well, Justin, you're very compelling as well. This is an interesting interview. I'm sure our audience is going to enjoy this. Where can they find more information about Advantage Capital?
AdvantageCap.com is a great place to start. Our LinkedIn profile is very active. We have a Twitter account as well, and of course they can contact myself or Danya Hindold, who is our head of communications.
And folks, don't forget, you can also find them on the Realtors 100 Top Impact Companies.
That's right.
Right there, Hudson News, Whole Foods, Barnes & Noble. Justin, thanks for coming on Realtors Live today. I hope our viewers gain a thing or two. And now we'll flip it to a video for the Realtors 100 Top Impact Company winners. Thanks for coming on the show.